You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. Come on, and I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's the Ron Kelly Show once again on a Thursday, August 4th, 2022. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for chilling with the kid right here on the Ron Kelly Show. Boy, it's dark, right? It's like dark. I mean, I ain't even turn the lights on. Wow, I'm like off. I ain't that better. Don't you want to see my face? Of course you do. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody. And simultaneously broadcasted on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show.com. And I see y'all be popping in and popping out. And it's all good because, you know, there's radio shows that I listen to during the week. And I'm in for a minute and I'm out. Shout out to my peoples, Ronald McCready. What's up, my brother? Thank you for getting at me on a Thursday. It's August 4th already. And the weather is like beaming. It's global warming. That's what it is. It's global warming. But what would you rather have? Global warming or global cooling? So we got a lot to talk about today. Brittney Greiner, 9 years. Wow. The Russians just, and I'm going to explain to you why they were so hard on her, Brittney Greiner. She is, Brittney Greiner got 9 years. Now, the prosecution, if you can call it that, the puppet prosecution in Russia were pushing for 9.5 years. I mean, what's the difference of 6 months? But, Brittney gets 9 years. Wow. So they caught the prize. Brittney Greiner was like the prize fish when you out there, you've been out there all day, and finally you catch that big fish. Well, Brittney Greiner was that big fish, and now she's going to be in jail for 4 years unless they're able to do something to get her out. So we'll talk about that. Also, Brianna Taylor is back. I spelled her name wrong, by the way. I always butcher people's names. But Brianna Taylor is back in the news. The four Louisville cops have been charged by the Justice Department of the United States of America. But not for what you think. Not for what you think. So I guess we can take whatever we can get, but we'll talk about that as well. There's a whole lot going on, and we'll get to all of it, get to as much as it as we possibly can right here this evening on the Ron Kelly Show. So yeah, Brianna, I thought that was over with, the Brianna Taylor issue, but nah, she's still, we'll talk about that. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I will get to it. Yes, I will. Shout out to Ronald McCready. Yeah, so I spilled it, bro. Wow, I'm just like all messed up. Okay. So Brianna Taylor gets to 9 years. And I'm like way off. You kind of knew you kind of knew that she was going to get knocked off. You know what I mean? That you knew it. Because, you kind of knew that she was going to get the harshest possible penalty she could get because she's a black woman. She's gay. She was an American, and that's what really killed her. The fact that she was an American, and we knew from day one that the Russians were going to try to make an example out of Brittney Greiner, and they did. Now it's not over yet. There's still a possibility that the deal can be struck because we have some people over here who we've arrested, and they have, Brittney Greiner, of course. So there's a chance that there will be a deal struck where Brittney Greiner could be free. So we're hopeful for that. It's 9 minutes past the hour. So with Brittney Greiner, like I said, the thing with her was the thing with Brittney Greiner was that she was black, that she was gay, and that she was an American. But I think the biggest thing was that she was an American. That she was down. That she was an American. That's what killed her. So, I mean, she's not dead. Don't get me wrong, but that's what killed Brittney Greiner. But the reason why she's still in jail, the reason why they imposed such a harsh sentence on her, because they were actually punishing America. That's basically what they were doing. They were punishing America, representative of Brittney Greiner. You see, because, the war with Ukraine would have been over by now. The war with Ukraine would have lasted a couple of weeks at least. It wouldn't have been going on for months and months if America didn't help arm Ukraine with weapons. It would have been over. They would have stomped over Ukraine with no problem. But the United States sent in billions and billions of dollars worth of high-class weaponry to Ukraine. And see, that's what happened. The United States is kind of responsible for is kind of responsible for thousands and thousands of Russian troop deaths because the United States supplied, not directly responsible, but the United States supplied Ukraine with weapons. And that war would have been over. But the United States it actually extended the war by sending in sophisticated weapons systems. And, because America has the best weapons. Nobody's weapons are better than weapons that are developed here in the United States. So Russia is taking it out on Brittney Greiner. They're taking their aggression out on Brittney Greiner, on America by harshly sentencing Brittney Greiner. Just unreal. But again, we expected it. We knew it was going to happen. Ronald McCready says nobody gets off. I haven't seen anyone accused in a foreign country get off unless they are traded outright. And that's what we have to hope for, that they can make a deal so Brittney Greiner can be brought back to America. And there's also another person over there, Whalen, I think the last name is, that's been there since 2018, 2019. He's been there for a minute. So we'll see what happens with that. But 10 minutes at the hour. Yes, Brittney Greiner given 9 years, So the legal part of the proceedings are over. She's been she's been. I mean, it was a slam dunk from the very beginning. You know. It's a slam dunk from the very beginning. That they were going to put her in jail. I mean, we all knew it, what the outcome was going to be. It's no big deal. We knew. And the Russians knew. Because they were going to make an example out of her. Say, oh, you want to meddle in other countries' affairs? You want to send weapons? You want to send weapons to another country? Okay. And so that's what it is. Russia is pissed off because the United States sent all of those weapons, billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of weapons to Ukraine. And that war is still going on only because of the United States of America. It's solely because of us, nobody else. Okay, so we're broadcasting on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and we're also simulcasting on blogtalkradio.com, RonKellyShow.com, 15 minutes past the hour. So you can call the show. It's not 646-668-2838. That's 646-668-2838. Yeah. Appreciate your indulgence here on the Ron Kelly Show. So, yeah, and we'll get to the Brianna Taylor stuff, you know. Oh, come on. We'll get to the Brianna Taylor stuff. Ronald McCready says, yes, we knew she was going to be found guilty. Yes, we did. Yes, we absolutely did. That she was going to be. She was doomed from the day they opened her suitcase. She was doomed. There was no way that Brittney Greiner was going to get away. They're like, oh, we got a big, fat, juicy American here that we can exploit and perpetrate a fraud with, and which is exactly what they did. So, Ronald McCready, you're 100% correct. We knew she was going to be found guilty. So we're going to, and I'm going to get into the politics a little bit later on too, and the Trump stuff. And I'm going to dig into the Trump because he's not going away unless he dies. So I'm going to dig into the Trump stuff. The Trump, what happened in Arizona where some of the Trump-backed nominees won. Now as far as the Arizona governors is concerned, it's too close to call in regards to the Arizona governor's race, Arizona governor's primary. It's too close to call. But Trump did good last night in Arizona, and we'll talk about that. And we'll talk about the whole Trump phenomenon that's not really a phenomenon. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that in just a few minutes. Thank you, Ronald McCready. Yes, we did know she was going to be. We did know that she was going to be convicted. Okay, the views and opinions, the views. Shout out to Suzanne Newman out in Staten Island, who regularly listens to the Ron Kelly Show. The views and opinions expressed here are exclusively those of myself and R. Kelly Media Enterprises, LLC, and are not those of my advertisers or my support team. So in other words, I take responsibility for what I say. Not like Alex Jones, who didn't take responsibility for what he says. Now it's going to cost him $4.5 million. But that's a big drop from the $150 million that the family was asking for. So we're going to get into the Trump nonsense. We're going to talk, the Brianna Taylor cops who broke into her home have been arrested, have been charged, but not for what you think. We'll get to that in just a minute. It's 18 minutes past the hour. So we'll get back. We'll get to all of that, the Trump nonsense and the Brianna Taylor cops getting arrested and being charged by the Justice Department. We'll talk about that. We'll get all of that. We'll get to all of that in just a few minutes. It's Yeah, it's just about 19 minutes before hour. Okay, we take a quick break. Come right back with more of the program. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody. And it's on broadcasted right now on blogtalkradio.com, RonKellyShow.com, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show. All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Ron Kelly Show. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com, 646-668-2838, 646-668-2838, 20 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. Here on the East Coast, it's 3:20 out west, where I haven't been yet. I got to take a flight out to California. I haven't been there yet. Okay. Ronald McCready says that Arizona, it's a long-time Republican state. I'm not surprised about Trump movers. And see, the thing with Arizona, I don't know, a lot of y'all probably don't remember or don't care to remember, but Arizona was the last state to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. It was the last holdout. And Arizona did not want to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. So Arizona, after the other 49 states had agreed to make Dr. King's birthday a national holiday, Arizona was the last state to agree to do it. So you're not surprised that Trump has done well in Arizona. But let me tell you something. Trump, the power of Trump is not that he's just so powerful. That's not the power of Trump. The power of Trump, see, the people who follow Trump have always been there. But it wasn't fashionable. It wasn't, you had to keep that stuff in the closet about being a racist and stuff like that. See, because these folks have just because you don't see people walking down the street with hoods doesn't mean that they're still not around. Of course they're around. See, but the difference between then and now is that they've taken off the hoods. So you can't identify them anymore. They've taken the hoods off. And these people have been around for a long time. And they're tired of watching immigrants come into the country. They're tired of welfare. They're tired of, even though they claim to be the ones who pay all of the taxes, but that's a lie, because a lot of them, like Elon Musk and some of the other people, don't pay anything. But we're talking about the middle class folks here. And they're tired. They were getting tired of being quiet. They were getting tired of watching the hundreds of thousands of immigrants coming to the United States every day, us taking care of them. And, it's just racist. I mean, they just didn't want to keep quiet anymore.
They just didn't want to keep quiet anymore because people think that Donald Trump created these people. Donald Trump didn't create these people. They were already there, and they were sitting around, and they were simmering, and they were angry, and they were pissed off because they saw what was going on in the country. They saw the influx of immigrants. They saw, so many things that they didn't like. Black people, and they were tired. Ronald McCready says, I read the other day, Trump made a statement that if he's elected again, he would be a dictator. I don't know why people want to reelect it. Well, see, there's people. See, it's not Trump, though. See, it's not Trump. It's Trump's. Trump had the courage to come out and just say what he wanted to say. From the very beginning, when he first slid down that golden escalator at Trump Tower a few years, 5-6 years ago, and he started out on the Mexicans right away. He didn't waste no time. He started out on the Mexicans, and these people, these white people, they don't want immigrants coming to this country. They want to stop Social Security. They want to stop Medicaid. They want to stop entitlements, meaning welfare, TRA, WIC, Section 8, et cetera, et cetera. They want to cut all of that stuff out because they feel like that stuff is bringing the country down. They feel like that's bringing the country down. 646-668-2838 if you got a comment. 646-668-2838. The Ron Kelly Show is on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show.com, and of course on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter, live on Twitter as well. So this is the deal. So people thinking, oh, Trump created all these people, just like Hitler didn't create the Nazis. They were already there. They just looking for somebody to follow. And these people in the United States of America today, they've been here all along, but it wasn't fashionable. It's like what's going on now with this fake electors, fake elections, and all of the stuff that's going on now. You couldn't do this a few years ago. But once Trump came along, Trump made people get comfortable with being racist. So that's why they don't wear the hoods. They come out in the street, Charlottesville and some of these other places where they just come on out like, hey, we ain't going nowhere. And that's what's been happening. So these people have always been here. Trump didn't create this movement. Trump was in a unique position to talk about some of this stuff. And what better, what would be better than to have a president of the United States who's a racist? And Trump is racist. And my show might get, I might get edited for saying this. But Trump, and these people are racist. But now the other question is, just because you don't want certain people in your neighborhood, does that mean you're a racist? Does that mean I'm a racist? Because I used to live in Paterson, New Jersey, a low to no income town. And now I live in Montclair, a town where the average net worth is like over $100,000. So does that make me a racist because I didn't want to be with black folks? So that's the other question. I moved. First chance I got, I moved out of Paterson, New Jersey. Now, and shout out to the people in Paterson. I know some of them listen to the R. Kelly Show. So shout out to you. But yeah. So that means, does that mean that I'm a racist because I don't want to live amongst poor black folks? Does that make me a racist? But anyway, these people have always been around. Trump just gave them a voice. That's exactly what happened. Trump gave them a voice. So there's no need to wear the mask. There's no need to keep your views separate. There's no need for that no more. No need. Because There's no need for that because it's now okay to be racist. That's what Trump did. Trump made it okay to be a racist. You know, the conservatives are having their annual meeting down in Dallas, and what do? They have a speaker. They have a speaker who they have speakers who are out and out racist, who are against mixing the races, who are against the prime minister of Hungary, who's against anything that has to do with bringing people together. I mean, just unbelievable. Shout out to Lamont Gates that says, is it because they are poor that you moved out or because they were violent? I say both, Lamont. I say both. Because it's bad enough that you get, that somebody takes what you work for. Like, for example, it's bad enough if somebody takes your car, pulls you out of your car and takes your car. And then they're going to pistol whip you. Now I feel bad enough if you took my car and now I'm going to be bloody and beaten and my car is gone. So yes, the people who perpetrate these things are shout out to Lamont. Lamont Gates asked me, is it because when I moved out, was it because they were poor or because they were violent? I think both. They were poor and violent. So Lamont Gates asked me again, so if they weren't violent, would you have moved out? Yes, I still would have moved out because you don't have to be violent to break somebody's window, break their car window and ravage through their car. You don't have to be violent for that. But the violent part is when people get killed. That's the problem. When people get killed. That's the issue. So it's 29 minutes, 40 hour. Yeah, I'm going to get to Brianna Taylor. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. We're going to talk about that. We got a lot to talk about. And yeah, and Trump, and so Trump, Trump is has a good opportunity to come back as president. And you're right, Ronald McCready, there's going to be a problem because Trump is going to be a dictator. Like I said, the people are tired. Those white folks are tired. They're tired of watching immigrants come into the country. They're tired of handouts and entitlements because they think that blows up the budget of the United States, which it does. And people, they're tired. White folks are tired. So they're like, look, we need, Trump was the savior of the white folks, of the antithetical white folks. Because they're not just against black people, they're against the LGBTQ community, they're against immigrants, they're against anybody who's not Anglo-Saxon white American, they are against. They are against. Lamont Gates says that's classism. Yeah, I guess so, Lamont. Lamont Gates. I moved because I'm not poor per se. I drive a nice vehicle. I keep a few dollars in my pocket. And yeah, I moved out of, I don't want to say ghetto, but I moved out of certain neighborhoods. Yeah, I was used to live in Patterson. Now I don't live in Patterson no more. Patterson is not the epicenter for ghetto-ness, but just as an example, and I moved because I wanted to live somewhere where I didn't have to worry about coming outside and my car is going or somebody's hiding behind a pole or something like that, or my car's already been victimized. You know, yeah, but I live in Montclair. Montclair isn't the utopia because somebody who parks their car across the street where I do got their catalytic converter stolen right here in good old Montclair. So everything is not, what it seems. But the chances of that happening here are a lot less than they are if it was happening in a depressed city such as Patterson or Newark, New Jersey, or some Gary, Indiana, or whatever. But yeah, Trump, be afraid, be very afraid, yes, because if Trump comes back, there's going to be some problems for everybody. You watch that movie, The Purge. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Hopefully, if it does, it's not in my lifetime. But yeah, Trump is going to be a problem. So it's 34 minutes past the hour. I'm going to go ahead and take my break because I'm like sweating in here. Take a break and come right back with the Brittney Taylor story. We'll talk about that in just a minute. We're back in just a second. It's 25 minutes before the hour. And I'll address Ronald McCready. I'll address your comment when we come back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody, and it's on Blog Talk Radio. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show.com. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Well, it's good, everybody. Ron Kelly, the Ron Kelly Show. Don't tell people that they lost weight. Don't tell people that they lost weight. If somebody told me that, you lost weight. When somebody tells you that, you don't think you're gonna die or nothing, but it depends on who you're telling that. You know what I'm saying? And why would you want to tell somebody they lost weight? And if somebody was fat and now they're not fat. I don't mean to say fat, but if somebody was, was overweight, for example, and they lost weight, then that's a good situation where you can say, hey, look, hey, you lost weight, but if somebody's of normal weight and you tell them that they lost weight, it's gonna, you're gonna make a person think about their personal health. So don't there's situations where you can tell somebody they lost weight, and there's situations where it's inappropriate to tell somebody they lost weight, especially if you are a guy and you're telling another guy he lost weight. Why are you staring at him enough so that you notice that he lost some weight? So don't tell. I don't like it when people tell me I lost weight. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I know the stuff about people. I don't say nothing because, if I know cats that have gained weight, lost weight, I don't say nothing because it's really like none of my business. Why do I care about whether you lost weight or not? I don't care. If there's something going on with you, I'm pretty sure you'll tell me, but don't tell me I lost. Well, I was in the church last week. Dang, you lost it. Stop staring at me then. Stop staring. You don't tell. As far as I'm concerned, in my own humble opinion, you don't tell people that they lost unless the person weighed like 300 pounds and they got lipo. If it's healthier for them to have lost weight, then you can say that. But you don't know what's going on with a person. They can have cancer. They can have God only knows what. And you're telling them that they lost weight, which makes the outlook look kind of bleak. Shout out to Suzanne Newman, who's listening to the Ron Kelly Show. Appreciate you. Suzanne from Staten Island. This guy's Ronald McCready says this guy is going to be very revengeful if this man is reelected as president again. It's already looking like the midterms will fall into the hands of. Well, you're right, Ronald McCready, to a degree, but nobody expected Kansas to vote. Nobody expected Kansas to vote to keep abortion rights. Nobody expected that. That was just out of the blue. That was very unexpected. That Kansas out in the middle of nowhere, Kansas voted, the state of Kansas voted to keep the right to an abortion, which was incredible. Nobody expected that. So you never know, sir, Ronald McCready. You never know. Suzanne Newman said, referring to what I was talking about earlier, that I also worked hard to be able to move out of an area I felt. Yeah. Black folks do it all the time. They move into Buckhead and some of these other places like in Georgia. Yeah. Because you don't want to be around. And I don't know if it's about race. I think it's more about being around people who are in your atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more to refer to that, back to that for a second. It's 23 minutes before the hour. It's 20 minutes before the hour. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it's not necessarily about race. It's more about people who are in, people in your income bracket. Now, me, I just barely fit into the income bracket in Montclair, if at all, because this is a very wealthy town. Whitney Williams used to live here. There's some other notable folks. Delroy Lindo lives here. Delroy Lindo, who was Alicia's daddy on Romeo Must Die, and so many other movies that Delroy Lindo has been a star in. He lives here in Montclair. I see him walking around all the time. So, yeah. So, right, Lamont Cates, it's about class. It's not necessarily about, the person's race or, it's about their income. That's what it's about. Oh, I missed the call. You know what? I missed. All right, whoever that was on Blog Talk Radio, you can give me a call back. I just missed answering the phone. 646-668-2838, 646-668-2838. I just missed answering the phone because I'm switching from two different screens. And I have Blog Talk Radio set up on one screen, and I have this thing on the other. Well, Lamont Gates says classism is just as bad as racism. Well, Lamont, I'll put that out to the listeners. I don't, I think that I don't think that racism is. I don't think that classism is bad as racism. I mean, if you don't want to, if I'm wealthy and you're poor, I mean, why do I want to live next door to you? I can't leave nothing outside. I mean, why do I want to live next door to you if I'm wealthy and you're not? Just like if it was the other way around, I wouldn't expect wealthy people to want to live next door to me if I was poor and getting assistance or whatever. It's just, that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. Okay, I respect your opinion on my Gates, but I think that at 18 minutes before the hour, I think that if you've made it, you should be able to move. So it's like Suzanne Newman said, if you made it, you should be able to move. If you're in a certain income bracket, I mean, like you wouldn't live on Carroll Street, would you, Lamont Gates? I'm pretty sure you would. So yeah, I get it. I understand, but it's just the way it is. The haves don't live with the have-nots. You know, that's just the way it is. So, yeah. So Brianna Taylor, because I promised you everybody I would get to that. Brianna Taylor. Oh yeah, guys, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Um, you got to be careful with the electric bikes, the electric stuff, because the electric bikes have been known to catch on fire. And in New York City, a electric bike caused a fire that killed 2 people. Well, they're saying that the electric bike being on charge caused a woman, a 36-year-old woman and a 4-year-old or 5-year-old to be killed. Yeah, a 5-year-old child. A 36-year-old woman and a 5-year-old child the fire was sparked by lithium-ion batteries from an e-bike or scooter. So that's what they're saying, that the e-bike, they're saying that the e-bike caused the fire. So you got to be careful with that. And I have seen videos and stuff of e-bikes, people dragging the e-bike outside because it caught on fire. So you have to be careful with that. You got to watch out with that. I don't know if it's because you overcharge it. I don't know if it's that, but definitely be careful if you have an e-bike. If you can charge it outside, definitely do that. Don't charge it in your house. Okay. Like anybody, shout out to Lamont Gates, who's right, says that Dr. King said content of character, not content of wealth. Absolutely. In a perfect world, that would be a great statement. But Lamont Gates says, I do live around non-wealthy people, very humble individuals. Now, that again, there's just certain neighborhoods, Lamont, that you don't want to live in. You don't want to live in a neighborhood where people are standing on the corner and they're drinking and stuff like that. You don't want to be where they're clocking and they're selling drugs across the street. I mean, you don't want to live in a neighborhood like that. Nobody wants to live in a neighborhood like that. And the only ones that do live there is the ones that have to live there. But other than that, nobody wants to live in those type of neighborhoods. And I've lived in a neighborhood that was selling drugs across the street. I've lived in a neighborhood where it was gunfire and all that stuff. I've done that, but I put myself in a position where I don't have to do that no more. It's not that I'm against my people and whatnot. I mean, my people got a hard way to go. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to look. You just gotta. Lamont Gates says that's a violence issue. Yeah, I mean, but people make excuses. It's 14 minutes before the hour. People make excuses. They say, well, I got to get mine. Or, well, I got to take care of my family. So that means you got to steal from me to take care of your family? That means you got to jack my car or rob me as I'm getting ready to go to work because you got to take care of your family? I hear that a lot. I got to take care of my family. I got to do what I need to do. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But don't take care of your family and don't take from me to take care of your family. So I guess it seems that violence and the drug game and violence, it goes with poor communities. Because if you go into Montclair, there's nobody standing on the corner selling those drugs. Now, they might have a more sophisticated way of doing it. They're not standing outside. You may have to go to somebody's house. I'm not saying that white people don't sell drugs, but, there's probably drugs around here, but you're not going to see people on the corner. See, because the difference between some people and us is that they like their neighborhood, and they don't want to destroy their neighborhood. See, we don't give a damn, burn it down, destroy it. We don't care. Don't care. whatever. You know. So Lamont Gates says it's a violence. Yeah, but people who are poor tend to be more violent than other people. For not and for no good reason. Okay, so it's a few minutes before the hour. So I just want to get into this. This is about 12 minutes before the hour. I want to get into Brianna Taylor. Now, the cops have been arrested and indicted in the shooting death of Brianna Taylor, but not for what you think. Not for what you think. They are being charged with civil rights violations. Now, they're being charged with civil rights violations. Nobody is being charged with her murder. No one is being charged with her murder. They're going to try to get her any way they can. And for those cops, for current and former Louisville police officers involved in the deadly raid on Brianna Taylor's home, including detectives who worked on the search warrant and the ex-officer accused of firing blindly into her home, they've been charged with civil rights violations and other counts. Now, the charges, they marked the first federal charges against these guys. Now, they unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction. Yeah. Former Detective Joshua James, Detective Kelly Goodlett, and Sergeant Kyle Meany were charged with submitting a false affidavit to search Taylor's home ahead of the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department's raid, and then working together to create a false cover story in an attempt to escape responsibility for their roles in preparing the warrant affidavit that contained false information. So, in other words, they lied to get the warrant, but still, no. Is somebody going to prison for her murder directly? No. But I guess we got to, to throw us a bone, I guess we got to take it. 9 minutes before the hour. Yeah, I guess he's tossing us a bone, so I guess we got to take it. So the Brianna Taylor police officers are being indicted on civil rights charges, civil rights violations, but none of them are going to jail because what happened was they perpetrated a fraud on the judge and lied to get the search warrant. And they lied to get the search warrant, and they wound up killing Brianna Taylor. It couldn't have went any worse than what it did. So, so now we'll see what happens. But if anything happens to them, it won't be because of the death of Brianna Taylor. It'll be because it won't be because of the death of Brianna Taylor. It'll be because they violated her civil rights. This is what they're saying, but they're not charging them with murder. They're just saying they violated the civil rights. All right, it's 8 minutes before the hour, so we'll see what happens with Brianna and Brittney. Brianna is dead, and we'll see if Brianna's mom will get some kind of justice. And I was watching Court Cam. I mean, I don't give a free publicity, but Court Cam is, you'd be surprised what you see happening in those courtrooms. comes on. It came on last night. Court cam. Check it out. It's very funny. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's what time is it? Okay. It's 7 minutes before the hour. Your peace be upon my brother Al. His name just popped up. I mean, a picture of me and him just popped up on my, what they call this thing? Alexa? Yeah, because it flips through pictures all day when I'm not.
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. According to popular tradition, this custom would derive from entering Rome with the.
See, these days, man, it's weird. It's exactly what George Orwell talked about, 50, 60 years ago. George Orwell talked about this stuff. And it's such a visionary. George Orwell, 1984. I suggest if you can get it on Audible and listen to it maybe while you're at work, get it. 1984, George Orwell. He talked about all of this stuff. He talked about that you're not going to be able to hide. There's cameras everywhere. Not able to hide. You can go on Facebook, or you can talk about something, or you can research something on Facebook. No, you can be on the phone and you can be talking about something you want to get, and you hang up that phone and you go on Facebook or one of the, well, it's mostly Facebook, and you will see a picture of what you want. You'll see, like, let's say you want to buy a Range Rover, because I want to buy a Range Rover. Right now, I was thinking about buying a Range Rover and trading in my car. I have a Tahoe, and I was thinking about trading in for a Range Rover. And I didn't even Google it. I was just talking to somebody on the phone about buying a Range Rover. And guess what? Range Rover after Range Rover after Range Rover popped up on Facebook. So they don't even, I mean, it's the weirdest shit that you ever seen. It's weird. It's like, it's like weird. It's just strange that you can be thinking about something and then it'll pop up on social media. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So now, I mean, there's no secrets. People can look you up on the internet, and get your information, and wonder why there's so much, and they wonder why there's so much identity theft. All you gotta do is go online, a people finder or whatever, and they'll tell you all about a person. I don't know if they give out the social security number and that stuff, but they'll have where your name, where you live. So if somebody wants to kill you, all they gotta do is go on a people finder and they can find out where you live and just wait for you to come outside. So this thing is weird. This is weird. So, and George Orwell talked about this stuff in the book in 1984. I've read it and it's fascinating. It is fascinating. 4 minutes before the hour. Fascinating. All you gotta do is think about something and it'll pop up on Facebook. If you want to buy a pair of sneakers, whatever it is, whatever you talk about on the phone will come up on Facebook. And, so I better go back to the good old days before cell phones. Because when I was growing up, there was no cell phones. No Instagram, no Facebook, none of this, no Twitter, none of that stuff. You can't even hide these days. You can't even go, so you got to go up in the mountains somewhere, leave your phone. You can't even hide. You can't even hide. It's unbelievable. You can't hide. So it's about 3 minutes before the hour. You think about something and you get up the next morning to get ready to go to work and it's on your Facebook. It's just wow. It's just strange. So let's hope that the Biden administration keeps working. Before I leave to go around to the cigar bar, let's just hope the Biden administration continues to work to get Brittney Greiner home. I'm not the biggest fan of women having wives.
90 seconds.
That's not important right now. What's important is is that she is brought home. That she's brought home, because what they did was just unbelievable. But again, the United States extended the war. Russia should have crushed Ukraine in the first maybe a week. It's a minute before the hour. Yeah, they should have crushed Ukraine in about a week. But the United States of America, with all the sophisticated firepower, saved the day. And the only reason that Ukraine is still in existence is because of the United States of America. And the Russians know that. And when they caught Brittney Greiner, they're like, oh, we got a big fish here. Even though she's not LeBron James or anything like that, but she is somebody who has generated a lot of sympathy. So, hopefully they'll make a move and get her. Hopefully they'll make a move to get her back here. And whatever, and some of the other people who have been
10 seconds.
unlawfully held by the Russians. All right, I'm about to break out of here. I want to thank you, those of you who chose to join me today. Somebody's like, Ron, why do you keep doing that show? Why do you keep, so what do you mean? You mean it's not worth it for me to do it? No, I'm not saying that. Oh, so you mean because I'm not famous? Maybe I shouldn't do it? No, I don't mean that. It's just, I said, when you do something for your own personal reasons, when you do something for your own reasons, your own personal gratification, it doesn't matter how many people are listening. So, don't tell me I got hay fever now. Ron Kelly Show, sponsored by Amica in Porterfield. Give him a call. 908. Is it 908? Yeah. No, it's 973, I think. 753-6423, 973-753-6423. Shout out to Suzanne Newman for sending me a heart. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Albert Vega, my brother from another mother. Appreciate you, my bro. Looking forward to hearing you, on the wheels of steel very, very soon, my brother. Appreciate you. All right. There's about a minute and a half left to the program. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back here next Thursday for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. And yeah, one day I will be famous, because you have to be on the radio to say that you're on the radio. And then the second thing is somebody has to hear you. So you put yourself out there. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on YouTube. It's on blogtalkradio.com. Somebody will hear it. And then, hey, I like that guy. All right. I am out. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here on the Ron Kelly Show. We'll see you back here next week. There's about 30 seconds left. So I want to say it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice, and that we may not have all together. But together we can have it all. If you down there in New Jersey, pack, you out your damn mind. I'm out of here. Later.